Hi, welcome to the show. You have found your way to Janine and Amy's Travel TV Live. Just think of us as the Lucy and Ethel of travel. And we're so glad you're here. You know, we know it will be a while before we get to travel like we used to. Amy and I are really looking forward to that day, I promise you. But in the meantime, we are virtually traveling around the world with our new friends. And today we're going to Argentina with Gustavo Hiebaum from Andes Drifters. And we're super excited. But before we start, I have to introduce my co-host, my friend, Amy Kaufman-Rylahan. Amy.
Hey, how are you? Apparently, I'm also known as Ethel. I'm going to assume I'm the Ethel in this relationship.
I didn't say that.
Well, maybe we can be interchangeable. That was awesome. I didn't see that coming. So that's why, oh my golly, that's awesome. The Lucy and Ethel of the travel industry. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, hey, everybody, welcome to another Thursday show. And here's to you. Cheers. Everybody, here we are. The Northeast survived a tropical storm and hurricane this week, and I just got power back myself, so life is good, hence the curly.
Oh, Amy froze, but that's okay because we can keep going because this is live.
Thank you so much for joining us. I think I'm back. I know it's the internet's really bad, so I'm going to try not to talk too much. We're still touchy with our electricity and our internet. Anyway, so I have a question for you. When we're able to go back out into the world and travel, what's going to be your first place you're going to visit?
Well, just we're all out to get out and get back to explore the world, right? And right now here we're into the winter, right? It's the snow season here, so I'm avid to go to warmth. And in northern Argentina we have subtropical weather, so I'll be looking forward to go get some heat on the Ibera wetlands where we're at one of our lodges. So really looking forward to go over there. Yeah, pretty soon, hope.
Yeah,
all right,
that's exciting. Awesome. So
that
Gustavo,
is very nice. I
have never been to South America or Argentina, so I am super excited. This is an area of the world I don't know anything about, except I did this awesome report in first grade, and look at I got 2 stars on it about South America, and this is what I wrote about Argentina. Gauchos still live on the pampas in Argentina, and I don't even know what that means. So is that true? Is that still a true statement from the 1970s?
Our gauchos are your cowboys, right? I mean, so they're still gauchos there, but they're not as they used to be when the gauchos started, right? Like in the U.S., the cowboys were there when they used to herd cattle moving in land from one side to the other. Here, they still established as ranches, but they're still gauchos that work with the cattle, right? So
yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I'm sorry, I found that and I had to bring it out.
Absolutely, and we have plenty of gauchos around the country. Yeah, actually, we still have certain areas of the country where there are public lands, and the gauchos, they're still, herding cattle through public land from one area to the other, from highlands to lower lands. So there are very few areas like that, but it's still some of that.
Oh, that's neat. That's cool. I know. And one of the pictures that you sent us, I think, is of gauchos, right? Of one of the cowboys. So we'll get there. But I just want to say a couple of people are on. I want to say hello to Lainey and Valentina. I think Robbie's here too. So if you have any questions for Gustavo, please post them below. And I know he'll be happy to answer them. At least I'm speaking for him now, so I'm assuming he'll be happy.
Yeah.
So let's jump into it. Where will we go tonight? There are 4 areas that you're going to tell us about. What are they?
Yes, we're going to visit, as I told you, I'm out to travel to the Ibera wetlands, where it's in subtropical weather, so it's in northern eastern Argentina, and it's the second largest aquifer in Latin America, and it's a huge natural reserve where it's land floating on over water. It used to be the old coast of the Paraná River, and now the river moved thousands of years ago and leave this big depression with land that floats over water. Big biodiversity, and actually it's an area that 20 years ago was impacted by the project of Douglas Tompkins, who bought a private land and donated to the government as a big natural reserve, and have reintroduced a lot of the wildlife and become a super pristine natural reservoir. So it's a very special place, and fortunately so far very little visited. So it's very unique experience you get there. Then we'll come south to where I'm right now in the northern Patagonia region. We'll talk about northern Patagonia and the Lake Districts and the lakes and the forests and the big open areas of the Patagonian steppe. And we'll go north along the Andes mountain range, then go to the Mendoza wine country, and then to the northwest province of Salta. So the idea is we're gonna do a lot of miles today.
All right, so let's get to it.
We're gonna go through different weather. Yeah.
And you were saying that people don't realize how big Argentina is. I'm gonna throw one of the pictures in the stream so we can all take a look at it. So I thought this was beautiful. And so,
oh my goodness,
isn't that amazing? So this is the, I know you do a lot of fishing and a lot of water activities. So tell us a little bit about this picture.
Yes, still loading on my computer. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, this is the Ibera wetlands, as I was talking to you. The Ibera wetlands, is this big aquifer, and it was marked because even when some of these areas have remained for years with very little access, but there are gauchos, which are really native people. There are gauchos, but also native people from the Guarani tribe. The Guarani is a tribe of native people from big part of Paraguay, northern east of Argentina, a little bit of Brazil and Uruguay. But they live here with their original language, and they gather. They work with their cattle now. They used to hunt. Now it's a natural reserve. So a lot of this project of the natural reserve has been transforming these people to a sustainable economy with the natural reserve. So there are some of the area guides, and what you're seeing there is the way they used to move their merchandise, their supplies to go back to where they live, because all this huge mass of water has very few islands, and all the other is land that kind of floats on top of water. So where is channels, there is land, and it's very hard to find a path between. So really, you need locals to find their way. It's really over 2 million of acres of water with floating land and grasses and flowers and tons of animals and birds. So yeah, that's a gaucho pulling a canoe there.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So would that be part of one of your tours, or would it be something special that you would add if somebody wanted that experience?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, that's a typical. That's a photo of 1 day of activities. Normally, you go to paddle, you go to visit some of the houses of these native families, and you get to paddle on kayaks or take a canoe. Actually, we do part of this activity too with the horses. We invite the people to swim with the horses, because the locals, to get one side to the other, they ride their horses, but when these channels, they're sort of deep, right? They could be 10, 12 feet of depth. So they get out of the horses. The horses swim across the channels, and they hang from the horses, and the horses take them to the other side. So yeah, and we actually have an activity. Yeah, it's very amazing, special. Yeah.
So who is this guy?
Well, that's the largest rodent on the world. It's we call them carpinchos, and they're very funny animals. They're all over in big numbers, so you'll see big groups of them. They're very interesting because they're a big rodent, but barks like a dog when you're near of it. sometimes they freeze and they are just chewing on grass, and you can get as close as 3 feet of them, and they will look to you like, let's come and play. And sometimes they scare of you, 100 yards away, and they bark very intensely, like a dog will do, right? And they're very, very neat animal. Yeah.
That's funny. I just thought it was adorable. So this is just a beautiful picture that I would like to show. And Robbie said you must talk about the asado experience.
Well, it's related to the, well, that's a flower bed on the Ibera wetland. But the asado is like it's like the typical barbecue in the U.S. Our comparable is the asado. But we're in Argentina, we're very serious about eating, and every single citizen of Argentina has their own recipe or way to do an asado. It's like the main thing you'll do, cook at home if you're receiving somebody, for as a guest and friends. And so it's a kind of social event, the asado. And it's, if the weather allows and the environment allows, it's typically something you'll do outdoors, right? So whatever you're cooking, a whole beef rib rack in an iron cross to the fire, or you using the traditional parrilla at home, and you cook sausages, different cut of beef, and it's a combination of grilled meats, really. That it's a big sample. We're in Argentina. We are the largest beef consumers in the world per person.
Really?
Yeah, we consume around average Argentinian around 160 pounds of beef per year per person.
Wow.
So it's
Holy cow, per year? Holy moly.
That's a lot. I thought there was a picture of it in here, but I didn't see it. But so we're going to jump to the next region, and I love this. So it's a little bit different. You do a lot on the water, but so this is obviously looking back. So hiking, and so your tours are very active. Yes.
Yes, this is a province of Mendoza, right? Mendoza is known around probably internationally because it's the wine country of Argentina, right? Like Mendoza is a big province that is, known for their wines, has like 9 different valleys that produces wines and produces about 75% of the wine of Argentina. So that's what it really is known for. But there's a big fact that it's right on the foothills of the Andes, where the Aconcagua Mountain is, and some of the highest mountains of the whole continent are right there. So it really has some stunning mountains and sites that are worth to explore, right? If you're right there visiting the wine country. So there are multiple opportunities to hike in pristine areas, as that photo is showing there. You can, walk on snow or ice, and up when it's down in the city, in the wine country, it's gonna be warm. You can go at a really high elevation and get into a lot cooler, different type of weather pattern, right? Our wine region is in Mendoza runs about between 25 to 4,000 feet over the sea level, but you can go up to on your car, going up to the foot of the Aconcagua Mount and getting to 12,000, 13,000 feet over the sea level, right off the road, and then hike up on the mountain. So plenty of opportunities to enjoy outdoor activities, and a must to explore these amazing mountains.
Right.
Oh, tell us about the wine. Tell us about the wine.
Yes, well, a fact that I always like to explain, right? I was telling you, Mendoza it has almost 1,000 wineries, and they're like it's a big province, and they have different valleys. And the typical signature grape in Argentina and in Mendoza is the Malbec, but really we have a very large geography that exceeds Mendoza province and goes 1,200 miles north-south of the foothills of the Andes, that has ideal conditions to produce quality international wines. That big geography of land in Argentina gives the opportunity to produce like super quality wines from different grapes. Of course, we produce our signature grapes is the Malbec, and that's where a lot of the production is focused because that's where the wineries are asked for when they meant to export, right? But really, we can find some really high gems of different type of grapes. And that photo that you were showing before, it's a friend of ours that runs a small project and bring some unique grapes typical from the Mediterranean, like the Grenache, and they produce very, very unique wines. So it's just something where we ran a several course lunch in Mendoza. It's called a Finca La Cayetana. And Eduardo Soler is my friend that produces these Versacrum wines. And it's something not known, right? That or unexpected from Argentina, from somebody that typically will drink wines from Argentina. So it's a lot to discover, and that's what we try to do, right? Shows things that are not typically seen, right? If you don't know that they're there.
Right. And yes, and have sort of like an inside experience, an insider's experience, which is really, I mean, it's the best when you get to do that. So this picture I just love. So I'm going to show this because I just think it's cool. So,
wow.
What is this?
Well, that's going up on the Aconcagua Park. That's on the high mountains in Mendoza. So that's what I was talking you about earlier. These mountains are just stunning in Mendoza. So you really can do a gentle, beautiful sightseeing hike for a couple of hours, or you can really get serious and do some more demanding hikes. There are a lot of variety, a lot of pristine places where you can get to spectacular views like that at only about an hour and a half, an hour up on the mountains from the core of the wine district. So
you hike and then you enjoy the wine. So it's kind of a reward, right? That's what we're saying.
You earn your wine and your dinner.
That's right. So when is a good time to visit? When would be an ideal time to visit Argentina?
Well, it's a good question. Because again, we come back to the geography. Argentina is so big that I could tell you every month of the year has some area that is ideal to visit at that time, right? Like if you come to Patagonia, you're gonna look into our summer, from mid-spring through mid-fall. We're in opposite season, right? So that will mean from November through May kind of thing in Patagonia. Patagonia, it's very big, and it could be the northern part is similar like to your northwestern provinces, maybe Montana, Idaho, similar environment like that. But you go to extreme South Patagonia, it will be more going like to Alaska compared weather-wise. So it's clearly more towards summer, right? We do a lot of winter activities out in here in northern Patagonia, where I am in San Martin de los Andes, because the temperatures are mild here. We have snow up on the mountains at 15 minutes from town, but here in town we don't have snow, and days in winter are up to 50. But then you go to the on the northeast part of Argentina, it's subtropical weather. So our winter is really the best time to go. And so, yeah, really, depending what you're gonna do and what your interests are, you really can travel any time of the year to Argentina and have really prime time to visit specific areas, right? So it's very ample depending where you go.
Sure, and you can change your activities, and I mean, this must be it's year round. It's year round. There are activities that you can do year round. Plus, and food and wine are always year round, right? So.
And we're always ready for that.
So I love this picture, and I know we're jumping ahead, but sadly we're running out of time. So I want to fit as many things in as we can. That's beautiful. I know it's a painting, but tell us about this.
Yeah, well, that's a very special picture. Actually, it gives me an excuse to talk about a very good friend of mine. We in San Martin de los Andes, this mountain resort town in northern Patagonia where I live. It's home of really talented and amazing artists. And Gero Mishu Nicolaevisi is a painter that have painted that frame that you put in there. That's a palette knife on canvas, and Gero Mishu is among the top leading artists that paint on canvas with palette knife in the world. He used a very big stroke, a very big palette knife, and it's really his paintings like talk himself. He he paints on real time to capture the light. His paintings are all about the light, and we have the fortune to have him living in town and actually painting. He's in the mid-70s right now, but last year he painted over 65 frames on the year, and he's very active, and he has a very special place. It's an art gallery and family museum because he has 9 kids, which half of them are very talented artists, photographers, and painters. And it's a must to visit for the people that come to town. It's a really big surprise.
So you can visit him and see his studio, and that's amazing.
Yes,
that is amazing. So okay, we're moving on. So I think I found is this the
dinner
asado experience?
Well, that's one way to make an asado. That's typical from my area in Patagonia. That's a lamb cooked on the iron cross. We call them cordero al asador. It's a lamb that is roasted entirely on an iron cross against the open fire. But you could see on the back on the right there, which is our traditional parrilla. This is a setup right on an outdoor. It's made out in one of our deluxe camps. So it's really like a nature environment. But you will have a parrilla and an asado also at home, or in a more fancy setup too, right? So it's very friendly to do at the outdoors and open fire cooking, right? So that's an example of a camp in a very wild, rustic scenario, right? That's why the picture is like that.
So you do offer a lot of different options for accommodations. So people could be out camping, like camping, but also more luxurious. So tell us a little bit about this. I think this must be one of the places that you offer. I mean,
oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
That's in the wine country, Mendoza. This lodge is a Chateau Relier resort called Cavas Wine Lodge, and one of the rooms have these private terraces with fireplaces. And you see the black area there, they're vineyards. So it's balcony to the vineyards itself where they produce their own wine. So it's very special place. Yeah, absolutely. We have some very, very unique resorts and some with very top gastronomy and that they provide on it. So really the options for lodging are very broad, and they're really we have options to fit everyone's style and desires to accommodate their trip.
Yeah. So you could go out for the day, go fly fishing, do whatever you want, and then come back to a very nice place, a lodge or hotel. Or tell us a little bit about if somebody was interested in being out in the field and camping, and if they were interested in that experience, what would that look like?
Sure, absolutely. Well, we have all different of adventure experiences itself, right? It could be even part if you're staying in one super deluxe resort, but you're gonna go and experience the nature by itself for one night, and we have that option for that to happen, right? So here in North Patagonia we have a team that set up camps on special areas, always places that are hard to reach, whatever you reach by boat. So it's areas where you're gonna find no others being there. And the idea is to do a camp by a lake in a special setup where you're gonna be connecting with the nature and seeing a sky full of stars like in other places you won't be. So we do this in Patagonia, but we also do it up on the Ibera wetlands as well. The photo that we're seeing there, it's an evening by the Lake Nontue, here near in San Martín de los Andes. It's northern Patagonia again, and we have a private music event right what we're enjoying some cocktails before dinner, right? It's a family that was enjoying a kayak paddling session and a hiking that day, and they end up the day enjoying some private session of music and an asado for dinner right at their own private camp.
That's beautiful. That's
Very
my type
beautiful.
of camping. That is my type of camping.
I'm with you, Lucy.
This is not a campground, right? It's a middle of nature place where we go set up tents with cots and a dining tent, and we have wine glasses, and we have toilets and showers that are set up specially for that night, right?
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
It's very comfortable.
With comfort, right?
Yeah, very comfortable. So,
beautiful.
with so many options and so many things to do, how do you help people when they come to you? How do you help them decide how to put together a trip? What is the process like if somebody wants to book a trip?
Sometimes we have people that is married with idea on certain destinations of the country. So we first want to hear what the people interests are, if they're married to do one or other destinations of Argentina, and then we try to capture. We normally do like a questionnaire, try to get familiar with general interest of people, and really what we do is to build something that is meant for them, right? The people don't know what all Argentina has to offer, but yes, we do have so many options that our concept is always, we have templates of all the different areas that you can present to get familiar what the options are, but really we try to make it special and unique for the people to have the experience they are looking for, or really have them discover something that is tagged with their personal interest, right? I mean, that they're not expecting to find in Argentina, but that's why we like to learn about our travelers and to be able to surprise them while they're doing the trip.
Yeah, and make it special. Because I think if you're going to travel, especially if you're coming from the States that far, I mean, you're going to really be immersed and really have a true experience. And I think that is what makes your outfit so special. I mean, really getting to interact with people and have that experience. So I love that. So I'll do one more, but you keep talking.
No, it's okay.
So I'll do one more because we're running out of time. I just love this because look at that.
Oh my goodness.
So I know that's it. So tell us a little bit about this picture.
Yeah, this is in the northwest part of the country, in the Salta province. This is a place called Quebrada de las Flechas, like the Arrows canyon type of thing. And it really is one of the many amazing geological wonders that you can find in Salta province. Salta province is one of the most rich culturally and historical places of the country because it used to be the road between the Lima, Peru, and the Virreinato, the colony time were, right in the 1600s. So it used to be the transition road between Lima to Buenos Aires when they used to go with wagons and horses back then. So it's really one of the oldest towns and areas of Argentina that has developed. But it keeps a lot of nature very untouched. So it's a mix of amazing sceneries with a lot of history and traditions. And the scenery goes from the highlands, Platón de Andes. This is the Quebrada de la Flecha, the photo we're seeing. It's across the Calchaquí Valley. And the Calchaquí Valley is also home of another wine region of Argentina. It's where in Argentina produces, for my taste, the best Cabernet Sauvignons and some really good Malbecs as well, but very unique wines. But also has these amazing scenery. And as you go east, you go lower in elevation, and you go into a jungle rainforest. So it's in the whole, just the same area. You can go from high plateau on the Andes with mountains that are 15,000, 18,000 feet over sea level. These wineries that in this area are the highest wineries around the world, the high elevation wineries around the world. Yes, because I was telling you, this is subtropical weather, right? You're going to ask me how you make to produce wines on the tropic, but being a high plateau on the Andes gives enough gap of temperatures between daylight and night to give that right balance and produce very unique, distinctive wines, actually. Yeah. So
Oh, that's great.
That's amazing.
So I feel like we could talk on and on, but sadly, our time has come to an end. So thank you so much for coming on. Gustavo, where can people find you? Where are you on Facebook? And if people want to find out more about visiting Argentina?
Yeah, you can find us on www.endlessdrifters.com. And it's same. It's an Instagram, on Facebook. We're as Endless Drifters, and yeah, we're here to talk and hear you, to make a very special experience, to introduce you to this part of the world, right? I mean, unexpected destination, but that it has a lot to offer and discover.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Indeed, it does. Well, thank you for coming, and thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Janine and Amy's Travel TV Live. We are taking next week off, but we will be back on August 20th with Lainey Sachs from Ordenzia Blue Italian Adventures. And we're super excited because I love Italy. If you want to be reminded about our future shows, all you have to do is remind me right below in the comments, and we will remind you, I promise. So thanks for stopping by. We can't wait to get back out into the world. We know brighter days are ahead. So keep dreaming about travel and finding joy close to home. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.